Hello and welcome back to Alpha Tauri, where we have Monaco and the first of two trips to Italy today. If you've been with us over the last couple of weeks, we are still in a bit of a situation in regards to car parts. We are starting to get some of our third generation parts in, slowly, which actually sees Yuki Tsunoda on entirely third spec parts for those that have third spec parts. We're still not yet to be on our third underfloor, I believe. Alex is still running some second spec, but he's no longer on first spec parts in any section, which is progress there. And I do briefly just have to talk shop for a moment. This is obviously round 9 and 10 of the calendar. Doing 2 races per episode long term, I realise would probably be unsustainable for me personally, because it is twice as much time spent per video, basically, with the same number of videos. Now, the fortunate for me part is that Football Manager comes out soon and that will take over the channel for the first few weeks. So I'll get a bit of a break from F1 stuff anyway. So the risk of me burning out is low, because even though I'm doing twice as much, which would increase the chance of burnout, I will quickly be doing nothing on that front, at least for the beta period of Football Manager. There is the very real risk, of course, that the beta comes out before I finish season 3 of this, which would be annoying, not just for me, but for you too, I would imagine. However, the reason for not just playing through and bringing you back intermittently has already passed. And that was obviously the sense that I did not want you to miss our first victory. We've had our first victory. We've not had our first championship, of course, but this is a much more grindy, in terms of getting up the pecking order, series. Now, with the regulation changes from 25 to 26, there's a very real chance we end up at the front regardless of what we do here anyway, because that's just the way the game simulates the regulation changes from 25 to 26. If you do any modicum of preparation, you typically end up either near or at the front. The problem, of course, comes in, this episode does not go live until after a point where I would have already recorded the rest of this week's stuff, or at the very least got to the mid-season break. So I'm not fully certain what to do on this point, because there is a very real chance the Football Manager beta comes out basically 1 week from today when this would go live, which of course will be smack dab in the middle of season 3. So if that does happen, would you begrudge me if I just sort of play through a few Grand Prix in the background whilst Football Manager is still the primary thing, and then maybe in the second week of Football Manager I could bring in a F1 video just on whatever race I happen to be on at that point in time. Obviously I will not get to the end of season 3 before bringing you a video, but if that were to happen, if I just did say maybe 2 videos for 2 Grand Prix in the last 8, would that be acceptable? And then from season 4 onwards, we could just do a lot more sporadic check-ins. Anyway, Monaco. Part of the reason why I just want to have that discussion now is also because Monaco tends to be a quick one. So fingers crossed that remains the case. Actually, fingers crossed, let's not, because let's have a chaos Monaco. Here at the end of Q2 in Monaco, both drivers on track, both drivers driving in formation. They kind of felt a little bit too close on their outlap, so trying to get a little bit of a buffer zone, but weirdly they don't actually go any slower if you put them on conserve rather than attack for whatever reason. But they both got to find a little bit of time just to be safe. Perez is in 13. Ocon's already been claimed in Q1. The improvements from maybe doing a little bit more errors in qualifying may have manifested there with Ocon, or it might have been a hindrance. Monaco, whilst obviously they've improved the moving out of the way, Monaco is a tight, twisty circuit, which kind of negates that improvement in certain places. I saw it happen. There goes Perez. Only 8th for him. Magnussen, the person who could be pushed out if he's not on a flying lap of his own. Albon goes 6th. I don't know where he found that time. Yuki Tsunoda goes 12th, despite having a better Sector 1 when I looked. How odd. That's not the way around I was expecting, based on recent trends between the two drivers, and with the fact that Yuki Tsunoda has the better car parts, but he doesn't have full knowledge of those car parts. So I wonder if that's factored in the reverse. Still, one person in Q3, objective done. Lance Stroll still has a layover penalty from the carnage that was Spain. I was going to say as does Nick de Vries, but I can't remember if he actually was the initiator of an incident. Giovinazzi definitely was, but I don't know if Nick de Vries was. And importantly, in Q3, Alexander Albon is going to start his flying lap just ahead of a Lando Norris that is finishing their lap. This gave him a lovely total line though, so he's got 4th. But no hindrances for Alex. Ignore his actual time gap there to leader, by the way. I got distracted and forgot to actually push him on his push lap. It looked like the Aston Martin just went back into the pits, so Stroll's done. As is, I think, Gasly, that is. There were some people who came up behind us, so I think they may be the 2 people that aren't the McLarens. Or could be everyone else that isn't the McLarens. I'm not fully certain. Perez is being done. He's in the pit. He's not even on track. I didn't even look at the sector times for Alex, but I assume they're better just because he's actually pushing this time around. 109.23, something like that. Goes 8th. Check when you had already finished. As no one else crossing the line affects us, we are 8th. Verstappen takes pole, Leclerc 2nd, but on track. Russell third as things stand. Only Leclerc can deny Verstappen. In his home race, no. Daniel Ricciardo outqualifies Valtteri Bottas again. Interesting how the momentum shifted over there, but they're still at the back. It's 6 different constructors from 5th to 10th again, isn't it? I appreciate that. I will say Perez has been consistently off. In fact, Alex could have done better than he did. Pierre Gasly doing exactly the same lap time in Q2 and Q3. That's consistency. Now, bizarrely, a 2-stop was always written as being faster, but see, that's 15 seconds faster, apparently. But the problem that arises at Monaco is track position. It's all well and good gaining 15 seconds race time through doing 2 stops if you can't actually do the extra speed because you're stuck behind someone slower. It's only 1.1 kilograms, so we'll take 2 out, push a little bit at the beginning, and then hopefully make it up towards the end. We'll put in the arbitrary soft to hard 1 stop, but I think most of the AI do 2 stops actually, but we'll react in race to however this develops.
We're here and the streets are abuzz at the Monaco Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go.
Leader on hards is immediately been claimed by Verstappen? Was I looking at the wrong way around? Leclerc's on the hard, Verstappen's on the medium. Albon's got Stroll off the line, but no, Albon was promoted to 7th because of Stroll's penalty. Stroll's got Zhou Yu off the line. Oh, Piastri's got Tsunoda off the line. God damn it, Yuki. Yeah, Verstappen's the one on the mediums. Not very many people on softs. Maybe running longer was the play. I do feel like with Monaco, the highest chance of incident is in the opening few laps. So in a way, if you can get rid of the softs at the beginning, can often be the beneficial thing, getting people off the line, which Yuki didn't. We'll come in. Looks like we got away with it so far. I actually played a little tactically on lap 2 and took off my ERS a little earlier than I normally would. Normally, you just leave everything on full push for the first 2 laps. Just realised I need to do something about the tyres. But I normally push everything for the first 2 laps in their entirety because the AI do that, and we did actually see that because we did drop off more than a second from Gasly. Didn't really see what happened with Tsunoda. But, you know, 2 laps later, we're well in DRS again, despite doing that, because as soon as they finish lap 2, they come off ERS push as well, and we gain back on them. We've dropped Stroll as well, crucially. So I think we need to have a look at Tsunoda here, see if we can get him past Piastri. He's not that close. We'll go -3 before we come off fuel. Yuki having a go at Oscar Piastri. I was about to actually do that manually with ERS battle assist, but I was about to say he's done it already, but I was focusing on someone else in the foreground briefly. But he has done it now. Yuki, if you could do it, please. Would you mind just pulling away? I mean, there's a replay, but nice to have a replay. I thought that was it. That was it in the foreground, but it kind of almost focused on the people in the background. It confused the hell out of me. All right, so if you wouldn't mind pulling away now. Yeah, you're ahead now, so that's fine. Right, Alex, train to Norris. Can't really do much about that. Wonder if he can top up without falling out of DRS range. Seems to be okay. Might need to just come off it. Interestingly, he actually brings the temperatures all the way down to cold. So we'll let him have it for a couple of laps again. Piastri is 4 seconds behind now. He was holding Yuki up quite dramatically. Trying to work out if Gasly has DRS or not. Because if he does, this could be a good opportunity to get him through. Gasly keeps dancing with DRS, not DRS. So if he doesn't have it, that would be great for Alex. But he's sort of well in range this time round, whereas he was sort of flirting with falling out of it last time round. So we'll leave it again. Lap 16, you may have noticed that Perez was taking Magnussen last time I was talking there. Magnussen has now fallen out of range of Perez, and Yuki is on his tail. Might need more than a lap to get close, but still well off pitting. We wouldn't even come out of the back now if we pitted, I don't think, either. There's a nice window between Ocon and Ricciardo. Why is Ocon? Actually, a couple of people I want to check here because... Okay, so it wasn't just driver error in qualifying. The way this race was panning out made this a little bit more obvious. I also want to check Perez, just DRS, which I suppose matters on a qualifying lap more because they don't conserve the same way you do. Or at the very least, it runs out before the end of the lap. So that might be why Perez struggled in qualifying, but seems to be okay in the race because obviously you don't use the ERS as much in the race. Consistently anyway. In the periods where nobody's using it, he's going to be just as fast. Okay, so Magnussen's well off this time round, so let him get it through this section. Deploy with assist, just on the assumption that deploy with assist will get him to use it here. Good work, Yuki, good work. I think he's through, If we can get a double points finish, that'd be lovely. Right, so the crucial thing now, of course, is if anything happens to Albon, Yuki is now 11th. So should hopefully be able to pick up the slack. Now, what's going on with Alex? Why is he 1.6 off Gasly? Haven't been paying attention there. Is this tyre relativism? Obviously, we're doing way better than the actual... Oh, God. Max has come back, and there's a yellow flag. Multiple cars have crashed. Maybe it was a good job that he wasn't in range of... So it's Gasly going for Carlos Sainz into Sandoval. Thumps the wall, keeps going. There's Alex right behind as well. I think Carlos Sainz is fine. Annoyingly, I think Stroll got through, or as a result of what happened, Stroll got through. So Alex is still net 7th, which is irritating. Because it did look like Alex was the next person on the scene, but I'm guessing he just slowed down and because of that, Stroll got him by almost accident. And now he's being held up by Gasly. Depending on how badly Gasly gets held up here, Tsunoda could even have him by the end of the lap. But obviously Gasly's going to have to pit prematurely. I wonder if a hard can go to the end from lap 20. Probably, they might try it, but they're more likely going to do an accelerated 2-stop because even the AI don't do that optimally when it's an option. Tsunoda got Magnussen again through all that. I don't know if the yellow flag just stopped Magnussen's overtake and now he's just driven off, but I didn't really see what happened there. But they're no longer in range. Albon's struggling to keep up with Stroll, unfortunately. Although he has got in range by the end of this lap, which will help DRS, of course. Yes, we are tracking slightly ahead if we wanted to do a 1-stop. This is irritating. Both drivers have got company now. Zhou Guanyu is in Albon's range. I don't know if they're just pushing or soft tyres are going off. Dries is 17th with 42% tyres doing 115.2, whereas Alex and Yuki have done 115.3s and 6s. So it's not just the tyres, whatever's going on here, because Williams is 17th, is going faster with worse tyres. Now that might be because he's being dragged along by a Sauber. So, I don't know. We are close to needing a pit stop anyway. Our drivers aren't separated by a lot, is what I'm saying. Pit window is just open. They're both on like 48% tyres, so they can actually go full out attack on these next few laps. My concern, of course, is pitting them at the same time. Pushing Alex has got Zhou Guanyu out of range. Magnussen is close to that. Albon still has a reserve of ERS as well, should he need it. I have a feeling we'll start seeing some other people pit as well. But no one else really started on softs is the problem. Yuki's estimated pit position is 14th. Usually you get a little bit more on that, but it's 14th for both of them, even though they're 5 seconds apart. So I presume that's basically saying that they'll come out behind Hadjar, both of them. So it's implying there's more than 23 seconds for a stop, which I don't think is accurate, but kind of hoping to see someone pit, just so I can see what the differential is. Hadjar's just come in. So he was with Ocon, so we'll call that 44. So he'd have been 44, 45 off the lead. De Vries just came in as well. I should have paid attention to him. So it's how far Hadjar is to leader when he gets out is the important bit. 21 seconds? 20 seconds? 21 seconds is probably about actually right. So actually it might be a good idea for Yuki to come in because he'll come out in that gap behind Ocon. Guaranteed, pretty much. If it is 20 seconds, he'll come out 3 seconds behind Ocon on a hard tyre. If we commit to the 1, I think 2-stop is faster anyway, but it's whether people actually do 2 stops, because it doesn't look like people are doing 2 stops because they're stopping really late. Well, mind you, they're going on to soft tyres now, which obviously isn't a 1-stop. The people that are pitted, what have they pitted off? Giovinazzi, soft to soft. Pierre Gasly, medium to medium, which is a little odd. Hadjar's gone medium to soft. So I presume another soft. Maybe they're all doing 2-stop. So maybe getting held up isn't going to be as much of a problem. It's the people that have started on hards that throw me because I don't know what they're doing, if they'll do 2-stop or 1-stop. You know what, we might split strategies here. Get Yuki on the hard this lap. Get Alex in on the medium next lap. Because they have to change the compound, so no point putting him on another soft just yet. 2-second stop, not great. I wish he comes out exactly with Ocon. So 19 seconds thereabouts? As Verstappen does a 1:12 on mediums. So Yuki's immediately on Ocon, which does surprise me because I thought it would take him a little longer to warm those tyres up. Why did Albon not come in? Oh, because I told him next lap after he was past pit entry is what's happened there, isn't it? I suppose that's fine. No one else really came in anyway. Okay, well, Yuki's overtaking Ocon without my help. I momentarily got sort of lost to where I was. I was going to try and put his deployment on and then went to the wrong person first. I just completely lost what I was doing there. Thank God Yuki was capable of doing it himself. That's his 90-something overtaking in action. And so one thing that concerns me with the 1-stop is the people that pit behind him that'll end up being faster will go through him. So hopefully his 87 defending as things stand will work in his favour there. That shows you how good his accuracy is. Plus 60s at 99. Doesn't even need to be at peak to have max accuracy. Right, so Alex should be in the end of this lap, just basically wearing those tyres completely to the ground. So he should come out ahead of Yuki, hopefully. 1.8 for Alex, that's even better. It's a nice, lovely gap that Alex gets out into, actually. I don't know if more people have vacated it or whatever, but 8 seconds behind Max and 4 ahead of Yuki still. So we'll try a 2-stop with Alex. And we'll try a 1-stop with Yuki, because he's got more to gain, Yuki. Alex's plan kind of works better if there is an instant in about 10-20 laps time. Oh, Alex is immediately 2 seconds faster than Yuki. Wow. I mean, I know they're both pushing at this point, pretty much, so hopefully we get to Magnussen after he pits. Perez will pit soon. I suppose we ought to actually put the strategy in. All right, obviously ignore the fact he is on 5 push. Maybe we can go full 5 push actually on these mediums without cooling them down. I kind of don't want him to catch the people ahead too quickly though at this point. There goes Perez. Down to 13th. That was a poor choice. As Alex gets Magnussen quicker than I was anticipating. I didn't react in time. I mean, they are running them quite long. I mean, I have to assume they're one-stopping to softs based on how long they're running them. Because it's nearly lap 40. If you were going to go on to mediums, you'd have done it by now. Because, I mean, Max took his to what, lap 38? I suppose maybe now is the point when you do it to medium, if you're going to do one stop to medium. But, I mean, they're all 50%. They can keep going. I can try and really make this work for Alex. Especially if he size through them like he just did there. And in fact, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Here's another one. Oh, he's coming in anyway. Never mind. Great timing, Alex. Piastri did fastest lap at some point. Oh no, Alex has just done it there. 2 purple sectors. 112 flat. So really, this is the point of a two-stop is this sort of... Oh god, he's been deploying. What? So this is kind of the point, is building up the gap to people like Magnussen who presumably are one-stopping. So yeah, I just need to make up for my error there by harvesting with Alex. I took off battle assist, but I forgot to turn it actually off, I think is what happened there. So Alex is getting close to Stroll. Still about 30 seconds off the lead, which is Verstappen, and he has pitted. So this is all relative. I think Alex can just go all out from here on in. Hopefully Stroll pits this time round as well. Norris has. All right, let's get Alex through Stroll and not make the same mistake. Thank God we harvested something back again. That was straightforward. All right, away he goes again. He's got a pit again, because that's what we've kind of committed to. Surprisingly little carnage, it's just Pierre so far. Technically, anyone that's still on the hard is in a straight fight with Alex at this point, because, I mean, that's just Stroll, actually. But they both got one pit stop left, is my point, so... Okay, so people going straight onto a soft now are doing 110s, let alone 112, so crikey. Oh god, yeah, he can absolutely slam these tyres from here on in. Can he get to the end on these? I suppose the point is slam these and then slam the softs, whereas Yuki just goes to the end now. Wait, I didn't actually put on the strategy. Silly boy. So actually, let's find out where the stop is for full 5 there. So basically, get to that, we can go full 5 on the softs. So the pit window is in 6 laps. Oh, that's definitely enough to slam these till then. So Norris is gaining as things stand, but he's on softs that will go off. Yeah, so Alex will basically get to exactly the right lap whilst destroying those tyres. Another 1.8 pit stop from Alex. It's annoying that they both come on his side, and one wasn't Yuki. And he comes out back ahead of Yuki, so that does prove that 2 stops is faster, if you're not held up. Oh, they're on mediums, actually. Wait, so they went hard to medium, but did it in the window where softs would actually be liable to the end? That's a little odd. Whereas Max went medium to hard, 1 stop, and just is ridiculous. So the people behind Yuki, I presume, are going faster than Yuki. Well, the Paris isn't hard, but Yuki's done 1:14.2, Zhou 1:13.6, yeah, so they are catching. Everyone up to Ocon in 12th is lapped. Does Gasly not have a front wing? Why is he still last? I mean, he has pitted a second time, and he's on a Wasser's train, so maybe. So Yuki has a friend now, which might actually help him long term. He's fighting Zhou Guanyu, who has taken... Oh, actually, he's getting him back, but Zhou Guanyu will have the inside for the hairpin, as they're getting close to lapping Pierre, Ricciardo and Arasa. Well, simultaneously, Max is bearing down on them, I think. And so I think Max has now lapped Magnussen, and is that Red Bull directly behind? There. Dear Lord. Max has been something else in this race. Also, baffling that, actually, Russell and Leclerc have both lapped Ocon. But Zhou Guanyu might help drag Yuki along here. As long as it drags him away from Magnussen in 11th, then that's kind of a win. We're getting close to actually having to pay attention to Alex again here. Just want to check. Okay, so the soft tyres aren't melting ahead of schedule, which is the main thing. Stroll did get Tsunoda. I was hoping the train would help there. Or is it lapping that's caused a problem? I think it's lapping / being lapped that's caused a problem. Because clearly he had DRS and Yuki didn't. For whatever reason. But they've simultaneously caught people whilst being caught, I think. Yeah, Max is now ahead of them on road, I'm pretty certain. Oh, so Yuki's a lap down. Huh. That changes the fuel question for Yuki. Because Alex is going... Oh, God, Alex is going to have to recover. He's 1.6 down, 10 laps to go. Okay, Alex is halfway around the track, but we do need to actually get him to conserve. Yuki being lapped is helpful. But Max still needs to get like 20 seconds in 10 laps on Alex, which isn't happening because Alex presumably is driving equivalently faster. Yuki's not a problem, but he does need to actually conserve tyres now, even though he's got 1 lap extra, I suppose. Let's see if we can deploy Alex through Sainz, but I don't know if Sainz is in Norris's range. Okay, that was bad from Alex. Maybe just stay there for a bit, Alex. Stay there, utilise the DRS. Sainz fell out of DRS range, so I'm going to go for it again. Meanwhile, Yuki... Actually, I think Yuki probably still needs to recover, because it's 1.1 a lap, isn't it? Typical, I looked at the wrong person there. I mean, unsurprising where it's happening, but superb from Alex there. So yeah, Yuki still needs to get within 1, basically, to get to the end of the race. Alright, so that'll do. Alex is going to have to conserve to the very end, I think. We'll just try and get Norris to the very, very end, I think. He's the last one that's actually claimable. Alright, so Max is about to start his last lap. So we've got basically one more DRS zone. Alex is outside of DRS. Deploying from here? I mean, he's got 62%, actually. I might as well deploy him from here. Yuki staved off Perez. Yuki's actually going to finish the race now with 0.2 in his tank. Ninth, it's not bad. Ahead of Perez, who dropped off in the end, actually. So Gasly and Massa Ricardo lapped twice, it seems. I wonder if we can actually push him with DRS to the line, or if the line will come too soon. The line comes too soon. 5th and 9th, we'll take that in Monaco. Thank you very much. Max takes Monaco ahead of the countryman, and George in 3rd in the Ferrari. Still wit. George doesn't look right in a Ferrari suit, but Charles Leclerc does look okay in a Red Bull suit for whatever reason. Both drivers up places, which is all you can really ask for in Monaco, because barely anyone did move, and most of them were due to Pierre Gasly. Alexander Albon getting some much needed points. Guess Sergio Perez in the championship. Sergio, mate, you're in a Ferrari. Lando gets Esteban, Carlos Sainz gets Yuki Tsunoda. We still get more points than either Mercedes or Aston Martin, though. And Yuki Tsunoda's 2.0 was still actually the second fastest pit stop, surprisingly. So we're pulling away even more there. Christ. I think, honestly, as long as we're effectively almost maxed out by halfway, there's nothing really that anyone can do at that stage. And the multi-race objectives that come through there for 5 million total. Can't complain. And crucially, nothing broke, but does anything need replacing? Underfloor. That's a problem, because we've only got 2 of those left. And I think we race immediately next week again. No, 2 weeks away. But we don't have spots for that. All right, we're just going to have to bite the bullet on that one. Reduce factory events. Sure. Good old Willie Gross. Oh, what a name. But Imola next. Sprint weekend, I believe. It's a sprint weekend, and Yuki Tsunoda has the lap record. Sorry, what? I did not know that. Well, Yuki returns to a track that he clearly likes. See you there. Technically the Tauri home race as well, so that's actually quite nice. A rain-afflicted Imola has seen, as it literally changes to damp the second I say that, a rain-afflicted Imola has claimed Gasly in Q1. Unfortunately, he's also going to claim Tsunoda in Q2, who, despite having 2 laps to do it in, only managed 14th. Bottas is 12th. Whatever. Albon's through, though. Same again in Q3, please, Alex. I don't know how it goes dry to wet in 3 separate sessions in the space of an hour. Frontier really need to look into that. But 9th it is, as it actually gets wet at the end of our flying lap. But let's give Lando the focus there, because he has claimed pole. Kind of out of nowhere. Bear in mind everyone's times were done on dries. I'm not sure how he's managed to get, well, 3/10 off his original best time when slow in Q2. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen did 1:12.4s and then did a 1:13 flat. Sure, bravo Lando. More practice. See you for the sprint. So here's the situation. Sprint, just cloudy. Race, heavy rain. A soft can get to the end. You know, with a heavy rain race, actually, I might use the soft in the sprint. I feel like the medium might have you at the end. Like, the medium is 4. Go for it. According to this, it's only 1 second faster to push a medium by 1 stage than just go casually, normally, on a soft. So we'll go with the soft, because why not? And with it raining tomorrow, we're going to have spare softs anyway. I also messed up with the setup. I didn't actually do it before qualifying, so it's only on 86%. But, you know, that's bad for us. I was concerned by the number of people on mediums there, but I saw a hard runner and I saw soft runners.
And it's lights out.
Yeah, pretty much everyone on that right-hand side of the grid as we're looking at it. Sorry, I talked over Crofty there, apologies. We're on mediums, but there is 1 hard runner in there. It's Max Verstappen, of all people. There's 3 hard runners at the back, so they're just staying at the back then. But Norris and Sainz on mediums. Come back in. Alex, now being 7th. Started 9th, of course. Max next on a hard. Meanwhile, Yuki started 12th. Didn't he not? No, he started 14th. So Tsunoda's got Zhou Guan Yu. Bottas got Ocon. Bottas in that Sauber has just done a thing. So basically the whole thing is here to get as much as we can, and then, I was just going to say, and then lose out, but the hard runners differential won't come until a little bit later, and then the soft runners and the medium runners, there aren't that many of them. So Piastri and Magnussen will probably have a good last few, as Tsunoda takes Ocon there, kind of out of nowhere. Good work, Yuki. Oh, Albon got an overtake as well. Max has been claimed. He's on a hard. I saw Yuki do an overtake, and then someone went nice. I just assumed they were talking about his overtake, but no. Alex simultaneously taking the, oh God, 4-time World Championship, as it is right now. Yuki's just taken Bottas though as well, for good measure. Incident, Magnussen ran wide. Oh, it was barely anything. We'll watch it though, because we don't get highlights otherwise.
And wide they go, leaving the racing line. They've got to be careful.
I mean, that's unsafe returning, isn't it? I mean, I complain that they don't get back on track, but when they do get back on track, they do it dangerously. That's quite funny, actually. Bottas has just taken Tsunoda. Sorry, has Bottas got, like, incredible upgrades to that Sauber? Because he is 10th, which in a normal race would be fantastic for him. It's a sprint, so he does need to get to 8th. But what? Miles and a half is probably about as far as you can go in a sprint before going, let's not. And really, there's not really much nuance to the sprint here. It's just drive around and hope that your tyres don't run out. Oh, Bottas is really pushing those softs, looking at his softs compared to everyone else's. Hello, Sainz just dropped through the field. It's a shame because he was second behind Norris. Ooh, that's a... Wow, that's a... I don't think... F1 cars don't have reverse. How has he got out of that? Has he got out of that? Yes, but last. Okay, so Yuki back up to 10th. Bottas up to 8th. He is in a points-paying position. I'm weirdly happy about someone else's success. Oh, man, those poor Sabers have been through the ringer for 2.5 years, pretty much. Daniel Ricciardo was still 19th. Admittedly, I'd be more happy if it was Danny in 8th, but whatever. So Verstappen came back through. Stroll got Alex again. Win DRS, though. Just. I mean, we'll 100% have better tyres than most soft runners by the end of this. In fact, actually better than the medium runners, the way things are going. Oh, Norris is 4th. The buffer of Carlos Sainz really helped him, it seems, because now he doesn't have it. He has gone. It will come back to Norris, but also come back to Verstappen, who is taking him now. Nice little fight, that. One that we're seeing in real life at the moment. A little bit. Oh, dear. There is a yellow flag, and only a yellow flag. I'm presuming De Vries, because he's got the penalty. And then... Oh, a Crofty to show an Ocon there. So is it De Vries on the inside of Ocon? I mean, why is there a yellow flag? They're both still driving. It's weird that De Vries tapped Ocon and then for some reason was able to just power past him. It's like Ocon was so shell-shocked by the fact that someone had dared to touch him. They went, oh, and slowed down. Is Sainz broken? Because he hasn't got back going after that. Because he did go in head first, but that front wing seems to be fine, so I've got to assume there's like unseen damage there. At some point, unbeknownst to me, Yuki Tsunoda got Piastri, and now he's the one. Oh no, Yuki's about to deny Bottas a point. But I want the point too. Bottas is very much the cork in this proverbial bottle, looking at the number of cars in shot behind him there. Behind at the detection point, we judged the fuel beautifully though, by the way. Minus 0.1, 4 laps to go. There goes Yuki. I'm sorry, Valtteri. I'm sorry. I'd love to have you have a point, but I think 7th and 8th is the best we're going to get here. Bye, Valtteri. Admittedly, he was only there because he... I was going to say, because he melted those... Oh, yeah, no, he has melted the tyres on 43%. Bear in mind that a regular 3-push burns out by the end of this. We'd still be looking at about high 30% there, maybe 40, if we just gone neutral the entire time. So they have absolutely pushed those to be at 42% with 4 laps to go. We're actually running ahead of schedule on our tyres, which is surprising considering what we're doing with these. Yes, curbs are on. Even so, that usually equivalates to neutral. I think we're starting to see the soft runners at the front go because Verstappen's just got Leclerc. Norris is having to go with Leclerc as well. I could see him have a nibble there. But there's a yellow flag. It's a Wassa. Never mind. Won't bother with that one. He's just gone off for turn 11. So last lap, why are we talking about George Russell? Once again, not really seeing... I mean, I think he touches him. I think George just turns into Max there, but I didn't. I mean, what? They both continued on their merry way. George hasn't even been given a penalty, so... Also, the last lap things vanished with 1.8. Somehow broke out lap, and the fact we don't have a pit strategy, we are on the last lap. So, yeah, actually, let him just go for it this last lap then. I mean, we are well clear of Zhou Guanyu, and we are well behind Stroll. Is it worth risking? Norris didn't get back through the soft runners, which does surprise me. That's a good point, and it is a good point. Quite literally. Yuki went from 13th, 14th to 8th. Alex up 2 as well. Who fell out of that? Piastri went down to... Oh, Sainz, of course. It's already wet. It starts in... I genuinely don't think I've had a wet start before. Right. Wow. Okay. I'm glad I used the soft now. Flipping heck. Well, that definitely gets wet. It definitely gets wet, and then it might technically be wet at the very, very end as well. Oh, that's a good point. It's starting wet. Oh, I think we have had it once, maybe, because I point this out all the time. We've got a marker point because it's starting at 1.48. You can see that beneath it, so we know what's on the left-hand side right now at the start is 1.48, which means it never goes below that at any point by the looks of things. So twice that height is 3. Oh, the end is definitely wet then, because that makes 4 about here. Right. I mean, you still have to eyeball it, but 4 would be probably the point where it just swaps over with the other metric that it's tracking there, grip. 4 is probably about here-ish. So the last 2 laps are in wet. But that's going to be one of those situations where the last 2 laps are wet, so probably don't come off the tyres. So it's intermediate to intermediate, that's for certain. So if we think 4 is about lap 10, maybe? I mean, it's basically where the rain says it's heavy on the iconography rather than just moderate. So probably back down there? What's that, lap 26, 27? Yeah. Well, the good news is an intermediate will go all the way to the end from there anyway, so we've never had a race like this before. I love it. Oh god, yeah, it's wet, isn't it? So I think you can get quite aggressive with the fuel.
It's lights out and away we go.
Oh god, our drivers are next to each other. I forgot about that. Yuki does have the better car, so this is probably helpful long term. There's a yellow flag already as Magnussen's gone a wandering. In the background, we won't bother watching that. But we will come back in. Like, we can go properly aggressive on the fuel here. So it's Leclerc and Norris fighting. Norris started behind Leclerc. So we can actually really attack the intermediates this first batch. Norris does fastest lap on the first lap, which makes sense. He does appear to be the closest person to anyone else, apart from Ricciardo, I suppose. Oh, De Vries is right on Ocon, actually. Go on, Bottas. Get points in the race. I dare you. So we can melt the intermediates. It doesn't really matter. Yuki's struggling to hold on, and Alex is close. Alex has better adaptability, but Yuki has the better car. Now, there's going to be no DRS for the entire race, of course. Just realised I forgot to take ERS off. We dropped Joe Guan Yu, though, which is nice. Oh, I'm going hyper-aggressive on the fuel, by the way. I'm going to take it to -4. Although, mind you, it might take longer to get to -4 because it's rain. So actually, I might just take it off on, like, lap 6, 7. It's actually got less wet, remarkably, even though it seemed to go upwards a little bit. It's actually a little down, as if it kind of immediately went from 1.48 to 1.3 there, which is a bit of a nuisance. Okay, so we are struggling to stay in touch now, and we are royally melting these in comparison to everyone else, which might be hurting our overall pace. Yeah, because they were so far into the hot threshold, that might have actually been hurting our pace. No, it wasn't. Okay, we are far enough ahead that I might just try Alex in front, if we can. If we can, that was possibly the worst way you could have done that. Mind you, maybe, yeah, we just let Joe Guan Yu in range. That was genuinely the worst way you could have done that. Why is don't fight teammate such a dumb instruction? That's enough. Remind me to never use don't fight teammate ever again, as we actually hit the point where we should have come in. I don't know why the game's just stopped without any notification, but we have missed the opportunity to capitalize because I was too distracted by the talking about the teammate switching thing. I didn't notice the rain level, and now Yuki's going to miss out as well because we have to double stack. To be fair, only 3 people went in. Actually, I think we've got away with this because it's just snuck up that little bit slowly. We are going to double stack still, even though we are lined astern. Of course, there's a delay for Alex just to make things worse there. Actually, I want to know what it was, just because it annoyed me. Right rear, just about the focus. I don't really know what it claimed that problem was, though, because he didn't say what it was. I know he got held, but that doesn't normally factor into the actual pit stop time. So Leclerc and Stroll are already ahead, but by more than a second, Stroll was. So we have gained time on Stroll there. Sainz and Wasser De Vries have done very well out of that, especially now as he gets wet. For half a lap as well. There's a good solid half a lap here for some drivers where it's going to be wet. Like, you're looking at Leclerc here, and look at the time between him and Magnussen. I'm suspect it might quickly come down as those 3 struggle. Wait, nobody's pitted. Do they not think it's going to be enough laps? I mean, it's definitely going to be enough laps. It's definitely going to be at least 10. What are they doing? Nobody's pitted. Magnussen, after being taken by Alex as well, now pits, which is such a weird decision. Either you just commit to it. Either you commit to not stopping. I mean, he's right on the next person as well, is Alex, which was Danny Rick. He's got him too. Sainz has got Tsunoda. I mean, they're both on wets. Leclerc's up to 7th, by the way. Like, Leclerc's just sliding through this field somehow. Whereas I think just because we're in a block of wet drivers, we're fighting each other first and then not actually attacking. Yeah, they just committed to not pitting, which is such an interesting decision. Because as soon as you start getting into a bit of clean air, like Alex is, this is Yuki on Giovinazzi. You can see Sainz ahead of him. The problem is we got to pit back off these. It's a little weird that the... Oh, we have been lied to. That gets drier a lot quicker. That's why people didn't pit. That's why people didn't pit. Apparently intermediates work in wet to a reasonable degree. In fairness, we were slightly mugged off by Leclerc pitting because it made it look like everyone else was going to follow suit. But we've been mugged off there. It feels like it's almost going to be wet enough at the end for long enough now as well to be worth going back onto wets at the end. But put it this way, Verstappen did a 127 there, Leclerc did a 124, 3 seconds faster. It feels like a lot, but somehow Leclerc's pitted from that position, and despite the entire time he's been on wets, it has been in wet level track. He's only got to the pit stop back. He's only recovered the time he lost by pitting, and then got back to basically exactly the same spot he started in. Something isn't right there, because we're going to have to pit again now. There's no two ways about it. We're going to have to pit again now because it's going back towards intermediate. Why has it happened again? How has it happened again? That is unbelievable nonsense. I mean, could be worse. We could be Magnussen. I feel like we could have pushed the fuel harder because it's lap 26 and it's already back down to -1. But I cannot believe how royally we've been screwed over there. Sainz gets Alex. Sainz is a master in the wet, but it's still a tad annoying. Also ruins like objectives and things as well. For information. It's not even information that isn't presented to us. It's just something that's mechanically wrong with the game. Because as soon as it went to wet, those intermediates should have been basically useless. And yet they were only lapping 3 seconds slower, rather than like 10. I feel sorry for Leclerc as well, because he should be winning this by a mile at this point. Alright, so we got basically back to neutral on lap 34, so we can push the fuel till like lap 45 and do the same thing. We've just got Giovinazzi again. It is interesting, apart from Bottas really, and Magnussen, who's just been royally messed up. It is a little interesting how without DRS, and I say a little interesting, and by that I mean very indicative of how this game functions. Without DRS, the order is basically reverting to type. Leclerc's working his way back through here at this point in time. He's just got Zhou Guanyu, but Stroll is in 8th. I expect him to get Piastri shortly, because he's basically a 10th behind. So there's Stroll in 7th. If Magnussen hadn't had his issues, he'd be up there. So Bottas is kind of the only odd one out here. Sonoda's only that far behind Giovinazzi because he's been double stacked with Alex. So apart from the couple of anomalies here, it is basically 2 by 2. And I expect Yuki Tsunoda to be going faster than Giovinazzi. He is. Wait, he's going faster than Giovinazzi, but the gap isn't closing. Oh, he didn't go faster that lap for whatever reason, but did the subsequent one. Alright, so Yuki Tsunoda is now on Giovinazzi, so we're about to get that again. There's 3 people on Bottas and they can't overtake him is part of the issue as well. Oh, we might as well watch it because we're not getting anything else out of this race. This is irritating. There's not even been any accidents in this rain for ages. I mean, I've just baited an accident for one of our drivers, haven't we? I mean, there's no point pushing Alex's fuel while he's in a train. Gasly, can you just take Bottas for the love of God? I'll just get both of them to harvest for a bit. All right, Gasly has got Bottas. I'm just going to see if I can deploy with Alex and see if he can sort of challenge the Mercs, because I think if I can force, at the very least, if I can force Sainz to defend here, it might push Ocon to get Bottas instead. If I can stop Ocon from thinking backwards, he might think forwards. And that will help us out long term here. Or if Alex just gets Sainz anyway. I mean, kind of done. Oh, he's got both of them. Good work, Alex. I can continue pushing the fuel light, but kind of need Yuki Tsunoda to do the same thing now. 12th is important because I think the long-term objectives is 11th, which he will actually be because that's obviously his original place. So 11th is important for long-term objectives. I think it's also just the generic race. Oh, no, I think the generic race incentive is 10th, which obviously is Bottas. So if Yuki can do the same thing now as well, that'd be great. Thank you. Oh, Gasly's just pitted. Why? I mean, they've done... Oh, that's a good point. They've done everything on one set of intermediates, haven't they? And it's very... I generally think it might be worthwhile going on to wets at the end, but we've had this dance before. Let's get Bottas, Alex. Russell's in the pits, but he's miles ahead. Alex has got 9th, because Gasly abandoned things. Bottas is also in the... Bottas is in the pits and he's gone on to wets. Gasly's gone on to wets as well. But they've gone on to them too early, hopefully. Tsunoda has just utterly failed in his objective to get anyone there, so they basically all decided they were going to take one set of intermediates all the way through, knowing that it doesn't really matter if you go on wets or not. You're not going to get the time back. But I didn't know that. I mean, that went up quite abruptly there. How far apart are our drivers again? Oh, good, they're 2 seconds apart. It's going to be this lap, isn't it? It's going to be this lap. Is there any detriment to actually pitting right now? Because it's 10 laps to go, and we can at very least recover a pit stop in 10 laps. We know that much if people don't come off them. So I don't think there's any detriment to pitting now. Because if any of these people don't pit, we will get that time back. Because we know we can do that. It was just obviously the extra pit stop back onto intermediates that cost us. I might do them separate laps here. Yeah, no, we're doing both at the same time. Again, Ocon came in. Sainz didn't. Good, Alex had a good pit stop. Finally. Yuki's was unbelievably quick. Right, so we're back in 12th. Piastri's got through, but Piastri was ahead already, I think. As it does change to wet immediately at that moment in time. So we will technically be faster than anyone that's on an intermediate now. So we're looking at Sainz, De Vries and Giovinazzi. So we should still be net 9th. Yuki's lost out massively there. Although Sainz has lost out even more by not pitting. So Giovinazzi is just not coming back in again, by the looks of things. I think Yuki has enough in him to get Bottas eventually. Oh, Giovinazzi did pit. What an idiot. He'd have been better off just staying out there and succumbing to anyone behind him. He might have stayed in the top 10, judging by the way people don't lose time on intermediates in wet conditions. Might be enough fuel here just to push it to the end, actually. Has anyone been lapped out of our lot? No, Tsunoda will be the next one to be. I think he's like literally right behind him. If you can try Yuki, that'd be great. Get Bottas before you get lapped. Or don't. Idiot. Alex should be fine. Although I say that, Verstappen is hunting. Verstappen's on his final lap, he's far enough behind. Alex will get to do his final lap. He's only 3 seconds behind Piastri, but I mean, good lord, Yuki. How have you not got Bottas? Right, so Alex can't be worse than 9th, which is great. Now only 2 seconds behind Piastri. Oh, Alex has been on battle assist this entire time. Whoops, that may have slowed him down. That's my bad. Well, I wish I'd known intermediates worked in wet conditions, because we've been royally mugged off there. Because we had at least 10 laps on fully wet conditions, and the people on the intermediates effectively only lost 1 pit stop's worth of time net, when obviously they needed to lose at least 2 pit stops worth for it to be worth going on to wet. So it's a bit dumb that they didn't in that amount of time. Still, 9th, we get points. Lando's up to 5th. Sergio's up to 8th. He got some good points there, and the fastest laps, it looks like. Especially McLaren get us, but it's not us that they've got. It's Aston Martin they've claimed for 5th. We stay... Oh, Mercedes didn't score anything, of course. So that's 5 points on Mercedes, only 10 points behind. And I think we got 1 and 2 there by a decent margin. We did. This is the main thing. Build up that lead and we can win that. Thank God for Alex at the end there, by the way. I genuinely never seen that. So it was new tyres on, so it was the right rear. And it was Titan tyres was the problem the second time around. So we got what we needed. I don't know what we failed on objective-wise, but actually, what did we fail on objective-wise? Oh, I think I said 2 drivers top 13. And Yuki was 14th because of course he was in qualifying. Yeah, I did research because we had time to spare. Ooh, I think Alex might have been able to use the new suspension for that race. I may have unnecessarily hindered him. The new parts were available to him. Whoops. And it's a new ATR period. Willie Gross has a lot of potential, apparently. But that's enough about him. Austria next time around. Austria is probably where we're going to take Alexander Albon's penalties because car-wise he is going to need an ERS. Actually, basically now, because that's going to go under this practice session. So we'll take the full raft of penalties for him here, might as well. And then it's Belgium afterwards. But thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this, like, comment, subscribe. Bit unfortunate how that one played out in the end, but overall, learning exercise and some good points today. Like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal by now. Until next time, thank you for watching. Ta-ra.